Glorious day. Welcome, everyone. Good morning, and thank you all for joining us to dedicate this building in front of you in honor of Lieutenant Walter Leroy Richardson.
Today we proudly add the name of Walter Richardson to the list of those memorialized here. He was an innovator in those exciting but dangerous times. As noted in Art Giberson's book, Eyes of the Fleet, A History of Naval Photography, Richardson was a cook, or a commissary man, tasked with keeping the sailors who were building the new air station well fed. But he also had a gift for working with machinery, causing him to eventually be transferred to the aviation unit as a mechanic. This gave him more opportunities to practice his passion, photography. In his spare time, Richardson was always taking photos of aviation training activities. Because of his work, Lieutenant Commander Ott Mustin and Lieutenant J.G. John Towers became convinced of the importance of documenting the development of naval aviation through photography, and Walter Richardson de facto became the Navy's first photographer, though still officially a cook. It wasn't until 1921 that the rate of U.S. Navy photographer was created, and Richardson was the first sailor so designated. By 1915, Richardson was visually recording all aircraft tests, instrument installations, and aircraft mishaps. He also worked with inventors and manufacturers on tests of photographic equipment. During World War I, he was called on to organize the Army and Navy photographic divisions to document combat operations. In 1918, he was commissioned as an ensign in the Naval Reserve Flying Corps and established the Naval School of Aerial Photography at NAS Miami, where he also earned his Wings of Gold as a Navy pilot, Naval Aviator number 582. Following the war with no combat to photograph, Richardson and his team developed the idea of shooting aerial maps, and were soon on mapping missions from New Jersey to the Pacific Islands of Guam and Midway. Walter Richardson's career highlights the opportunities inherent in our Navy. Those opportunities gave free rein to the ingenuity and initiative of this amazing sailor. For 48 years, this building served as the Naval School of Photography, and the accomplishments here serve as his legacy.
You've already heard about Lieutenant Richardson's pioneering spirit, his dedication to his craft and to his country. And I do think today is a fitting honor to dedicate Naval Air Station Building 1500 to his proud legacy. I also want to thank the family of Lieutenant Richardson. Some are wearing the uniform today, some have worn the uniform, and some will wear the uniform. And for that, we say thank you. Yes, Lieutenant Richardson was a pioneer in the field of aerial photography and is considered by many to be the father of naval aerial photography. His ability to combine his passion for his hobby, photography, with his profession changed the way that we gather intelligence and evaluate aerial maneuvers. Like so many great Americans, Lieutenant Richardson embodied innovation, taking calculated risks and advancing his craft. Just one example of Lieutenant Richardson's invention was the first handheld oblique camera for aerial photography. This system allowed multiple wide swath images to be taken and stitched together for intelligent analysis. Lieutenant Richardson's invention and his problem-solving ability exemplified the spirit of American ingenuity that continues to set the men and women of our armed services and our nation apart from the rest of the world. We stand here today to honor Lieutenant Richardson's lasting legacy by naming this building, Headquarters 1500, after him. Originally built in 1939, you've already heard that it was home to Naval School of Photography, which was later renamed the Defense Photography School and then relocated to Fort Meade in Maryland. As we look to the future, I'm confident that the leaders inhabiting the newly named Walter Richardson Building will have their hearts anchored in a tradition, but also open to new innovative ideas like those pioneered by Lieutenant Richardson. On behalf of a grateful nation, I stand here today to commend Walter Leroy Dick Richardson, his lasting impact on the United States Armed Forces, and recognition of his legacy through the dedication of Building 1500 as the W.L. Richardson Building on board Naval Air Station, Pensacola.